Welcome to another edition of Corack's Cribs. This is the dirty edition. We're going to talk about dirt on this one. Most people just use it as foundations or flattening an area to put their garden. Here's some other uses. I made a ramp here because here's our current base. And travel down here fairly much and over here. That just saves time from walking all the way around. The great thing about the dirt foundations is they are impervious, I think, up to tier 7 storms. So every storm that can be thrown at. So nothing will really harm this. Let me get a camera out, see. Since I've put this on, there's been another storm previously when I was prepping this, and it's taken no damage. Like I said, a lot of people just mainly use them for foundations and gardening, leveling to put gardens on. But there's so much more. Like you could do those ramps everywhere. When you come up to them, they will hardly ever have to be repaired unless something attacks it. But going back to our previous base we got here from the primitive edition, where we were in a cave. Here we go. This one. See, I'm taking damage. I just expanded this using dirt foundations. We're not taking any damage. This will take some damage. What I did was I raise these sides because if we get a lightning strike, it will hopefully hit the higher points, thus kind of protecting these. There you can see that's already, for some reason that's taking some damage. Maybe I fell on it earlier, who knows. I'm going to get these repaired and make sure we can see the damage they take later. So the ramps give you a nice up point to it. Every one of those blocks, there's no mods on this. Every one of these blocks is touching the surface somewhere. So I've minimized the wood I've used. So if something does happen, this is all I got to watch to repair, actually, from the storm. See, that's taking a little damage. The inside, we're nice and safe. There's the cave entrance. All our stuff's protected. Let's see, it's probably I'm not sure what's taking. What it just showed is taking 90 damage. Oh, that's the wood itself. Yeah, there you go. I've actually narrowed this opening some by using the stone. You know, everything here is doing fine, it's taking protected. You can see my storm exposure is going down. And then here I've laid some. So I got storage crates in here. This shows rain in here, but am I really getting rained on? That shows sheltered. That shows sheltered. I've come up to the edge of the cave sickness here is where I've laid this. That gives me kind of a visual of where I'm going to be getting into cave sickness. This kind of blocks me from the worms that are just around the corner. I can easily move here. See, now that I'm past this, there they are. No risk of fire, because we don't really have wood back here, other than, stepping in the fire. That's why it's a good thing to kind of put these up on stone pallets, because it raises it up a little bit, so you're a little better protected. Now watch me catch on fire, but see, I bumped against that, and I didn't catch on fire. Like, if it was on the floor, you just step right into it. But as you can see, nothing here is taking any damage. other than our little bit for this roof? Well, we can manage to keep up with 5 pieces. See, soloing, not a big deal here. Yeah, we got more room. We could always, you know, put some little half floor pieces there to stick something on top if we moved that torch. So this works out pretty good for this instance. Now, one thing I have not tested, okay, so blocks are impervious to fire, the dirt blocks. I did, what did I do with them? I did use one of my art characters to give me some fire arrows. Huh? Okay. So you can see the numbers raising from the fire, but the durability is not going down. So that little bit of damage was not from the fire itself. It was literally just from the arrow striking it. So it is fireproof. Let's see if we hit it with a regular arrow. Yeah, see, it did about the same damage. So that damage is strictly from the arrow, nothing to do with the fire. Now, one thing we have not tested, okay, all our workbenches are sitting on the floor, so we're going to run a little test right now. We're going to go outside. Oh, we had some tree damage. Let's look at our tech tree here and see what it says about dirt. 100% falling tree resistance, 50% wind resistance, +2 insulation from temperature. Okay, our wood stuff, +3 insulation from temperature. So it's not quite as good as wood, but it's pretty close. Only 50% falling tree resistance. So the wood would have taken damage if the tree had hit it. It's got melee resistance and resist tier 2 storms. This doesn't say, but from what I've seen on other charts and other videos, I think Infinity Gaming, I'm pretty sure, showed a chart once that showed it was classed at tier 7 storms, which we don't actually have right now. So we're going to do a little test. Whoop. Let's switch over to fire arrows. If we burn this roof down, let's see if any of the crafting benches take any damage. I have not tested this. This is the first test I've done. So basically what we're simulating is if somehow a lightning strike had gotten past everything here and gotten in and set the roof on fire. Now, obviously, everything will be right directly underneath it will become unsheltered, and it may go into the little bagged inventory if it disappears, or it may just say it is unsheltered and not work. Shoot one into the dirt over there just for fun. What I'm trying to do is make sure this burns all the way through and doesn't stop part way. I want no roofs to be here when I'm done. Now, you know, this is not the most aesthetically pleasing. But it's not too bad. It's not super ugly. Yeah, we can live with this and make an interesting base. So right there, I couldn't get a ramp in because there was no rock for it to grab to. So I just utilized that by putting in the ring catcher. There you can see the inside's getting pretty toasty. Rain reservoir. Some days my brain just fails me. Let's access that. Fill up these while we're thinking about it. Okay, everything's fallen in. You can see it fell all the way to the ground. So this, and we haven't lost any benches. So they'll just probably say unsheltered. All right. Let's go back up here and get my water before I forget what I did with it. By next time I do the next episode. I really can't think of any other dirty episodes we'll do. There you go. 100%. 100%. Durability, 100%. Durability, 100%. 100%. Now, obviously, if a storm came along right now, this stuff would start taking damage. But you can see I didn't lose anything due to that catching fire. So as long as you're coming by and checking on it on a regular basis, you're going to be perfectly fine. And obviously nothing in here is taking damage. Let's see. Actually, one last thing for Dirty Edition, because why not? There we go. Here's what you expect from a Dirty Edition. Corack, in this case, test dummy, running around in brown underwear. Hope you enjoyed this edition. Please hit like. It just takes a couple seconds. Hit that like button. And you know this was somewhat entertaining at the very minimum. And it really, really helps if you hit the like button. I don't know how much content I'm going to put out, so if you don't want to subscribe, I understand. But please smash that like button. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.